A very good evening to you once again. Another parastatal is embarking on a retrenchment drive. Eskom released a statement today announcing its plans to streamline its executive structure. The power utility says that the Eskom Board has approved the implementation of the Section 189 process. Eskom has also unveiled its top new structure, which will see a reduction of the top executive from 21 to 9. For more on these changes at the financially troubled power utility Eskom, we're joined by the spokesperson Khulu Phasiwe. Khulu, a very good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Confirmation, of course, on this coming from that statement. Is this just streamlining of the top executive at Eskom?
Indeed, this is part of the streamlining process that has already started now. The executives, the 21 that you just mentioned, have received letters from management indicating that some of them, their posts have been made redundant, and therefore, unfortunately, some of them will have to leave. But I have to hasten to say, Griselda, that some of them actually proactively send letters to management saying that they would like to leave. So, contrary to some of the reports that we have seen today, it's not like people are being retrenched necessarily. Yes, Section 189 is about retrenchment, but some people have not been fired. They actually just asked for them to be relinquished of their responsibilities within Eskom.
Talking about some of those reports that we've seen, Khulu, perhaps some others could argue that not sufficient time was given to them and this was just basically dropped as a bombshell on them, that they do not have work at Eskom any longer. The consultation process, because I'm sure the unions themselves would have quite a fat lot to say about the process that Eskom is undertaking, and could perhaps also argue that it is not the fault of some of these executives, but the manner in which or how Eskom has actually turned out.
You know, Crystal, the important thing among others is that these executives are actually the ones who are running Eskom, or some of them it is where the ones running Eskom. So in other words, the decision to reduce the numbers at top level is actually coming from the very same people. They are the ones who are the directors of this company. They were part of the Exco meeting that had taken a decision on this, which is why it was fairly easy for some of them to volunteer to leave Eskom, because they knew that it was their decision. But some of them, yes, probably were not prepared to leave now because their positions have been redundant and now made redundant. But generally, I would say all of them knew about what is coming because they are the ones who took a decision which was endorsed by the board.
If you talk about some of these positions being redundant, I guess some would ask the question, how much does the reduction of this top executive, how much will this save Eskom? Because I think many have argued in the past as well, Khulu, that the salaries of executives at Eskom were very inflated.
You know, the difficulty with this one is currently it's difficult to say how much is going to be saved. But I have to say that whatever the reduction is going to be, clearly it's going to be a drop in the ocean. We as a company, our total bill per annum, including everyone within Eskom, is over about 30 billion rand. Clearly, these people are not earning even 1 billion rand put together. So we still have a long way to go. But as you correctly say, whenever they get bonuses, clearly becomes a big problem, and people correctly so sometimes because of some of the things that, especially when you have lottery and people get bonuses, it becomes like a pain really on people. But generally, whatever the reduction is going to be a small drop. Clearly, there have to be other mechanisms that the company will have to put in place to make sure that we do further reductions. But as to what those mechanisms will be, the board and the management will make pronouncements in due course.
That might be very concerning to some people. If you say the board will decide on any further reduction, do you mean that there could be a possibility of further retrenchment at Eskom in terms of the workers, the ordinary workforce within Eskom?
2 weeks ago, the chairman of the board said that they have not given the mandate to management to reduce the numbers beyond the executive level. So far, what I know is that the board has not taken a view about the other structures within Eskom. So far, it's only these 21 people who are going to be affected. If there's going to be any changes, then I'm sure the board will revise its plan.
But you couldn't rule out the possibility of that at this stage, Khulu, because obviously a reduction of the top structure of Eskom would not be sufficient to save it from the current financial ruin.
So that this one is a matter which is above my pay grade. I would rather have the chairman or someone else say on this matter. What I know for sure is that whatever is going to happen in terms of the retrenchment, it will not be enough. We also need to do other things within this company. And cost reduction, obviously, is part of the equation. But the biggest challenge for this company is that over the last 10 years, our sales growth of electricity has been just less than 1%. So clearly, if this company needs to be sustainable, it needs to grow its revenue and also reduce costs at the same time. Currently, you cannot just reduce costs. You have to also improve your revenue. So those two things are not mutually exclusive. They have to happen simultaneously.
Khulu Phasiwe, who is the spokesperson for Eskom, thank you very much for joining us, talking to us about a reduction in the top structure of Eskom and also some of the issues relating to whether there will be some of those retrenchments taking